A problem solvers investigation leading to change. Back in March, we told you a teacher at a Chesterfield preschool had been arrested for allegedly abusing several students. Those incidents had been reported to Child Protective Services, but CPS dismissed the cases and never referred them to law enforcement, allowing the teacher to go back to that school. For months, our Tyler Lane has been pressing CPS about their handling of the cases, and now he's learned his investigations have led to results. Tyler?
Well, Bill, I obtained this memorandum from Chesterfield Social Services here, and it details specific and immediate changes to how the agency is handling reports of child abuse. Of course, this comes after our reporting and also after a request from Virginia Department of Social Services. Alleged child abuse going unreported in Chesterfield. That's been at the center of our Problem Solvers investigation. Police say that a teacher at Chester Early Childhood Learning Academy assaulted several students ages 5 and under in August and November. Court documents show that she spanked them, slapped them, grabbed their necks, and pulled their hair. The school reported the incidents to Child Protective Services, but CPS screened them out, meaning they did not find the complaints to be valid, and so they dismissed them. And despite that the state law says CPS must report cases of threatened harm to law enforcement, CPS didn't do that either. Police did not learn of the allegations until an outraged parent took matters into their own hands and went to law enforcement themselves in March. Police then charged the teacher with 12 counts of assault months after they allegedly happened.
There's too many loopholes, and as tax-paying citizens, we should feel that we're protected and our voices are heard.
A question for community members and child advocates is, why did CPS screen out these claims?
At the end of the day, are children being harmed? If it's a yes, then we should change that.
Citing media scrutiny and a request from the state, Chesterfield Social Services launched a review of how CPS handles reports of child abuse and neglect. And they found immediate changes were needed for the intake process, which is when workers first receive allegations. Here they are. CPS will not use a time frame to determine if a complaint is valid, since school employees can still pose a threat no matter how much time has elapsed. CPS will accept second-hand information from school administrators. There does not need to be an actual injury to validate a complaint, because the state code says even a threat of injury is enough. Notifications to law enforcement must be documented within 2 hours. An intake must always search for an alleged abuser's name to look for patterns. Additionally, 100% of screened out cases must be reviewed by a supervisor until further notice. The state will review referrals to assess practices and make recommendations on improvements. All intake staff must complete several modules of training, and they need to review the social services agreement with Chesterfield schools. The agency will have regular check-ins as changes are made, and all procedures are to be implemented by July 1st. Earlier this month, Social Services Director Kiva Rogers told me that her department is always looking to improve.
That's something we are looking at ongoing, and looking at all of our processes and ensuring that we have good processes to respond to situations.
And tonight, the parents of a child directly involved in those preschool cases but want to remain anonymous tell me they still feel failed by the system, but that these changes are a step in the right direction. They sent me a statement that reads in part, "We're hopeful that updates to policies will prevent other families from experiencing what we've had to endure. We're also hopeful that preventative policies will be implemented to eliminate potential incidents where CPS or the police must be notified. The policy changes by CPS are commendable. However, they do little to help the existing victims and their families. They're also still pushing for accountability from the school district as well. You can read their full remarks online at WTVR.com. Here in Chesterfield, I'm Tyler Lane, CBS 6 News.